This woman just bagged the worst mother on the internet. Her crime against her own kids would turn out to be the most gruesome case you'll see on the internet today. Hello! Welcome back to Bizarre Cases. Today, we'll explore the unsettling interrogation of the most vicious mother ever. In February 2021, 29-year-old Brittany Gonzi, a mother of 3, killed her 6-year-old son while attempting to abandon them lonely in a park. During interrogation, Brittany told detectives she'd planned this with her 43-year-old boyfriend Hamilton, but soon they turned on each other in a messy blame game. 6-year-old James Robert Hutchinson was the youngest of Brittany's 3 children. He lived with his mom, Brittany, and her boyfriend, James Hamilton, in Middletown, Ohio. Neighbors described James as a lively, energetic little boy, but sadly, his joyful life was about to take a tragic turn. On February 27, 2021, James Hutchinson vanished without a trace, leaving the community in shock. The following day, Brittany and Hamilton went to the police station to report him missing. The police immediately launched a search, combing through the Middletown area to find young James. But something felt off to the detectives. While Brittany and Hamilton reported James missing, their lack of urgency and emotion struck the police as strange. Why hadn't they called 911 the moment he was gone? Why wait nearly a day before casually showing up at the station to report it? These details raised suspicions, leading the detectives to bring the couple in for questioning. Brittany said she was later woken by Hamilton at 8 in the morning, who then told her that James was missing. When Hamilton narrated his side of the story and told detectives that after the kids went to bed, he and Brittany went to bed around 10:30 p.m., he recounted that Brittany fell asleep quickly while he took a bit longer, turning off the TV around 10:45 p.m. and likely falling asleep by 10:50 p.m. He said the next thing he remembered.
I got up around 3:45.
Okay.
Went to use the restroom.
Okay.
I used the restroom. I went upstairs.
Where is the bathroom? Is it downstairs or upstairs?
Downstairs.
Okay.
When I got done using the bathroom, I went upstairs to check on the kids like I do just about every time I
Sure.
get up in the middle of the night.
Sure.
And I went through the rooms, noticed the boy, James, was gone. I went down. I got looking in the front door. It was locked. I looked at the back side door. It's unlocked.
So both of them were locked?
No, it was unlocked.
Oh, unlocked.
The back side door was unlocked.
He said he woke up around 8 a.m., woke Brittany, and told her James was missing. Brittany confirmed that Hamilton woke her up at 8 a.m., explaining that he had tried to wake her multiple times earlier, but got no response. Soon, conflicting details began to emerge between their accounts. The police, sensing discrepancies, intensified their questioning. Brittany mentioned that Hamilton had tried to wake her earlier, but she didn't respond, while Hamilton insisted he only woke her up once. Further inconsistencies in their stories and a tense atmosphere during interrogation pointed toward possible trust issues between the two, which detectives hoped to use to uncover the truth. Hamilton knew James was missing by 4 a.m., but Brittany only woke up around 8 a.m., claiming she'd been on medication. It's hard to believe Hamilton couldn't wake her up given the seriousness of the situation. When detectives asked Brittany if she had any idea where James might be, she said she hoped he was somewhere close by since he didn't have friends or favorite spots to go to. She added that they took the kids out occasionally, but didn't reward bad behavior, usually disciplining them by making them stand in a corner. Amid mounting pressure, the detectives asked Brittany if she suspected Hamilton in any way, while Hamilton, for his part, insisted that finding James was his only priority. The situation grew more strained as the detectives implied they could uncover any hidden truths, hinting at potential consequences if any deception was involved. The tension escalated as each person tried to avoid blame, giving the detectives the opportunity to break down their stories in pursuit of answers about James's disappearance. In Hamilton's account, he described his actions on the morning of James's disappearance. He claims to have woken Brittany, James's mother, to inform her that he was heading out to search for the missing boy. He mentioned that Brittany acknowledged him and supposedly fell back asleep. However, earlier he had stated that he only woke her up around 8 a.m. hours after his search. This shift in timeline began to cast doubt on his narrative. However, the detective proceeded to ask about his search route. Hamilton explains that he drove around local streets, from Braille nearly to Titus, circling various neighborhoods, and insists that he focused on areas east of their home. When detectives ask if he crossed the tracks to search west, Hamilton denies it, asserting, "I went all over by our house, but never went across the tracks." The detectives then confront him with evidence suggesting his phone location data placed him west of the tracks during his search, a detail he seems reluctant to address. This pattern of inconsistencies, from the shifting account of when he informed Brittany to the mismatched search locations, leaves detectives increasingly skeptical, amplifying their suspicion as they interrogate Brittany. Finally, the detective's sympathetic approach begins to break through, and Brittany opens up, expressing her struggles with the children's behavior. She shares her frustration, explaining how difficult it has been to discipline them without resorting to yelling. Brittany goes on to mention that James, her partner, grew increasingly impatient with the children, stating that he often complained about their behavior and even suggested in moments of frustration that she should get rid of the kids if she couldn't control them. She recalls offering alternatives, suggesting she could take the kids for a drive or give him a break instead. But James seemed firm, repeatedly telling her to get these kids under control or get rid of them. In response, Brittany tried asking family members for help, hoping to diffuse the tension. As she continues, the detective asks her to describe what happened the previous night. Brittany recounts taking the kids on a drive in an attempt to get rid of them. But something unexpected happened as she pulled over at a stop to allow the kids to use the bathroom. At this point, all the detective wanted to know was if this was the incident that led to James's disappearance. The detective now knows what he needs, and finding James's body is the next priority. Brittany then confessed that she had left James' lifeless body in a parking lot. If you think that's the end, brace yourself for even more shocking details. Brittany admitted that she was so overwhelmed she couldn't bring herself to call an ambulance. At this point, she tried to throw Hamilton under the bus by claiming she asked him to give James CPR while she went to the bathroom, insisting she had no part in his disappearance. The detective then confronts Hamilton with Brittany's confession. Hamilton denied being there, saying he was at home at the time. However, the detective doesn't seem concerned with his whereabouts just yet. They just want to know where James' body is. And finally, Hamilton admits to their crimes, and what he reveals next is deeply disturbing. Brittany had lied about leaving James's body in the parking lot, and it turns out the incident happened days earlier than they had claimed. The story grows even darker as Hamilton confesses that they kept James's body the entire time, planning how to dispose of it. This shocking revelation prompts the detectives to cross-check Hamilton's timeline with Brittany's to confirm its accuracy. I have to say, the detectives did an excellent job here. Brittany now realizes she isn't getting away with this, and of course she's ready to drag Hamilton down with her. She starts shifting the blame onto him, trying to make it look like he's more responsible. But keeping this up will be tough as her story keeps changing. Still, the detectives need to uncover the truth about what led to little James's death and disappearance. By this point, it's clear Brittany has no solid timeline for her lies, and the detectives know she's desperately trying to make the incident look like an accident. They sense her fear as her story continues to change. On February 28th, Middletown detectives took Brittany Gosney to Rush Run Wildlife Area in Preble County and to a bridge over the Ohio River in Indiana. After admitting that her 6-year-old son was dead, she willingly went with them to show where James died and where she and Hamilton disposed of his body. The case finally went to trial in March 2021. James Hamilton was charged with 2 counts of gross abuse of a corpse and tampering with evidence. He also faced charges of kidnapping and 2 counts of child endangerment, resulting in a 19-year prison sentence. In May 2021, it was reported that Gosney had seen a court-appointed psychologist who noted that she faced a number of barriers in attempting to give up custody of her children. Gosney told authorities she was removed from her father's home at age 12 by the Hamilton County Department of Job and Family Services due to repeated sexual abuse, and that she gave birth to her first child at age 12. However, the psychologist overseeing her case noted that Gosney shows signs of an underlying personality disorder with antisocial features, but ultimately found her competent to stand trial. On August 16, 2021, Brittany Gosney pleaded guilty to murder and 2 counts of felony child endangerment for killing James Hutchinson and abusing her other 2 children. James Hutchinson's biological father, Lewis Hutchinson, expressed his sorrow, telling reporters he would have gladly taken his son in. He said, "All she had to do was give him to me. She could have dropped him off in my sister's house." Butler County Children's Services took custody of Gosney's 2 surviving children. Brittany Gosney was later sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 21 years. Tragically, James's body was never found, though the search continues in the hope of giving him a proper burial. All right, guys, that wraps up our video for today. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you think we know the whole truth, or are there still secrets left untold? We'd love to hear from you. If you have any cases you'd like us to cover, please share your suggestions in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Bizarre Cases.